Hey, what's up? So in this video, I want to do a little talk about the Magic economy. I took a break from the game for like 3 years, maybe even a little bit more. And just before I took that break, I did do a few videos, and one of those videos was talking about the Magic Arena economy. And in that video, I compared the Magic Arena economy to the Runeterra economy from Riot Games. And in that video, I think I was very down on MTGA, mostly because of how difficult it was to actually get the cards that you wanted to play with and how much money that you actually had to put into the game at that time and how far your money went. Whereas with Runeterra, your money went a lot further. You could put in something like $50, maybe $100, and you could pretty much craft whatever you wanted to craft and multiple decks of what you wanted to craft. The thing is, Legends of Runeterra, I'm pretty sure is dead. I haven't played that game. I haven't really even thought about that game until today for a very long time, and I'm pretty sure that they've changed the game from PvP to PvE only. I'm not 100% sure on the current state of that game, but I'm pretty sure it all came down to that game just didn't earn enough money for Riot to continue with, and it died because of that. So you can't be too generous with your fan base. You can't be just giving things away or expecting people to be able to play the game without putting any money into it. I suppose these companies want to make money at the end of the day. So maybe Wizards is doing something right on that end. But I think I have the same problem with Magic Arena since coming back to the game that I had before I left the game. And that is that I'm not overly interested in Standard. I will play Standard from time to time, but I feel like Standard kind of gets stale for me very quickly. So I end up gravitating towards formats like Pioneer or Historic or maybe even Brawl. I'll get into the Brawl thing maybe one day, but for now, Brawl feels a little inaccessible because of my lack of knowledge of what people actually want to do in that format. That's besides the point. So when I go and look at decks in Pioneer, or if I see somebody playing a cool deck and I try to emulate that deck, I always run into the same problem. And if we go over to my current decks, I'm sure a lot of people's collections look exactly like this. And when you kind of hover over these decks, it's the same story. Every time I import one of these decks, 4 rare missing wild cards. 3, 4, 7 and 2, okay, up to mythics. It's usually the rares. I'm sure this is going to continue all the way through. It's going to be, a few rare cards, up to 4 or 5 rare cards when I'm lucky. Sometimes I import a deck and it's like 12 or 16 rare cards, and though that deck usually just gets deleted. But it's always something like 4 or 5 rare cards that I'm missing. And when you go into the deck, it looks really cool, and you're like, yeah, I really want to try this deck out because I think it would be interesting to play. Clicking on the wrong things. But then what am I missing? Oh, I'm missing 4 Soul Flayers. Do you really want to craft 4 rare Soul Flayers, a card that is only usable in this one very narrow type of deck? And it seems like it could be really fun, but man, that's a feels bad when you're sitting on just a handful of rare wild cards. You've really got to be careful with them. You can't just be throwing them out willy-nilly. And in this case, like, I don't want to be buying Soul Flare right most of the time. And it's always the case like this when I want to play, let's see, I think this is the Goblins deck, right? Yeah, a Goblins deck. I thought, oh, throw together a Goblins deck. It could be really interesting. But I don't have any of these Horde Masters, a card that is pretty awesome. It's a cool Lord, but it's only goblins, so you get put in this weird position, and that's Magic. Maybe this is on me more for being the kind of player that wants to explore a whole bunch of different decks. I don't want to stick with look at this one, Boros Reckoner. Who's going to craft a Boros Reckoner? But wouldn't it be really cool to have it in a deck with Screaming Nemesis and Reckless Rage? Sorry, got way off topic again, just clicking through. It's on me because I'm the type of player that's jumping between decks. I'm not sticking with one deck and just mastering that deck. I want to keep trying new things. I tend to get tired of my decks after a dozen games. And so I get put in this weird position. And I have to imagine that a lot of players are in this same boat as me. Now, Wizards did introduce something, I think it was in October 2022, which was just shortly after I left the game. They introduced the gold packs, and the gold packs are a pretty nice addition to the game, I suppose. You buy 10 standard or alchemy packs to earn a gold pack, and in the gold pack you get 6 rare or mythic wild cards. I'm not exactly sure what the perfect distribution is, if it's 5 and 1 or completely random, but you get some rares, and that's kind of cool. So when I go and I look at packs that I want to buy, well, I feel kind of pigeonholed into buying only standard and alchemy packs because I want to get the gold pack, and I'm not really sure if the gold pack is even worth chasing. It is nice to get, but you end up getting usually 6 cards that you're not going to use in any capacity. But it's still nice to fill out the collection because you never know, you might hit something good. You might hit a card that could be good in Brawl, or at least a little bit useful in a Brawl brew down the line. So you are heavily incentivized to buy standard and alchemy packs. Where does that leave you? Well, that leaves you in a position where if you want to get a Boros Reckoner, is that what? No. You want to get your Boros Reckoner, well, he is in Pioneer Masters. Pioneer Masters is not one of those sets that is going to award you with a gold pack. So the only way to really get a Boros Reckoner, if you are hooked on chasing down those gold packs, is to craft it. And so you got to save your wild cards and craft it for these niche cards that you want to play around with. Again, that's a choice that you're making as a player, that I'm making as a player, but I feel like that is where I am sitting. And that's a real shame. Then you have cards like this, Abrupt Decay, which I don't even think you can open this in a deck. So you're just kind of stuck again in a position where you have to use your very hard to get rare wild cards on a card that in this case is pretty good, and I think you probably could find a lot of places for it, but it is not standard legal, of course, because it's whatever. And yeah, it just feels bad. That's what I'm getting at. It feels bad. What can you do? So when you are deciding to try to fill out your collection, when you want to, spend a little bit of money on the game, what do you do? What's the best course of action? Do you chase down these standard and alchemy packs that contain maybe rare wild cards that you're missing that could be useful down the line? If we take a look over at my wish list, I do have a wish list going on that'll flash up on the screen here. Well, in my wish list, I have a good number of cards that are from standard that are cards that I wouldn't mind opening, but they're all over the place. I got cards from Duskmourn, I got cards from Wilds of Eldraine, I got some from Bloomburrow and Caverns of Exelon and Aetherdrift, and it's like one here, one there, one there, one there, one there. It's annoying. How do you focus farm essentially for these things? I'm thinking again, I mentioned Sweet Phil back in one of my other videos and how he influenced me to make the thumbnails the way they are. Well, he's always talking about focus farming because in D2, well, hey, if you want to get a Stone of Jordan, what's the best way to get a Stone of Jordan? Probably you run Nightmare and Dario because you can kind of focus farm that. I feel like in Magic Arena, when you're trying to focus on getting specific cards, man, there's no hope in getting exactly what you want. And then there are cards that are just outside of the standard and alchemy format, and right now I guess we're kind of in a good position because standard is a very robust standard. It's like 3 years of sets, but what's going to happen during rotation? Are they always sticking to 3 years? I'm not exactly sure, but there's going to be a time when the packs that are standard or alchemy legal sets is going to be a much smaller pool, and in that case it's going to even feel worse. Right now at least it's a pretty wide format and there are a lot of sets that you can't open. Then the other option is just hunting the rare lands. Like I mentioned before, I do have a few rare lands that I specifically want to get, but there are also a ton of rare lands that I have not opened. For example, especially in like the Outlaws of Thunder Junction, there is a burst of the fast lands that I just don't have for some reason. Concealed Courtyard, Blooming Marsh, and Botanical Sanctum, which now that I'm looking at that, I'm pretty sure I have Concealed Courtyard. I feel like I have the Kaladesh version of Concealed Courtyard, but maybe not the Outlaws of Thunder Junction Concealed Courtyard. So when I was going through my collection, just searching for unowned rare wildcards from standard legal sets, it did pop up. But now I'm quite sure I have, especially that one, the Courtyard. So I'm gonna have to look into it. So yeah, anyways, do you hunt down the rares in hopes of just like filling in those slots, even though they're cards that you don't necessarily want, and then getting some wild cards? That also kind of feels bad if you're just throwing money into the game. You're buying packs for cards that is going to be a higher number of cards in those packs that are useful maybe down the line, but not specifically cards that you want right now for that Soul Flayer deck. That also feels kind of bad. And then what is the ultimate goal? You're opening packs for no reason, just to meet that checkpoint of, you open 6 packs and you get a rare wild card. Great. Open another 6 packs and you get another rare wild card. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Or you're just hoping to open other rare wild cards, or you're hoping that you get super lucky in this gold pack and something pops out of those 6 cards. Like, the whole system just feels like it is against the player. And I think the whole reason I wanted to make this video, and the whole reason I'm ranting about things, is because I often see posts online on Reddit specifically, and everybody's complaining on Reddit, so it's not the best gauge of the format, but I often see people complaining about how boring the formats are and how the metas are very narrow and nobody brews. It's just mice, or it's just Phoenix, or it's just a Yorion deck. And I get it. I honestly get why people would be doing these decks or using these decks. It's because the game actively disencourages players to actually brew. It's so difficult to get these rare cards that are not useful anywhere else, and therefore, why would anybody want to play Soul Flayer? Soul Flayer is a cool deck. I got slammed by it the other day, and now I really want to play it because it looks super interesting. But it's probably not a great deck. It's definitely not a meta tier deck, maybe low C tier, but it could be really fun to play around with. But nobody's going to play it because the economy sucks, and getting those rare wild cards just results in horrific buyer's remorse when you do go and you're grinding through diamond. You're having fun, but you're also having a hard time because in the end you do want to hit mythic, but you're hard locked at diamond 3 or 4 because you're playing Soul Flayer, because that's the deck that you chose to craft. And then you look over at the meta sheet and you see, well, okay, Phoenix is doing really well right now, or Yorion deck seems to be strong. Those are the 2 that come to mind right off the top of my head. Well, what do I need to craft those? Oh, I need another 12 rare wild cards. Well, how am I going to get 12 rare wild cards without spending $100? Good luck. So then people know this. People are not stupid. They're just going to immediately craft those decks off the hop. Therefore, brewing and crafting and being creative with these cards is discouraged in the client, and therefore your metas are going to be very stale and streamlined. That's just the way it works when in 2025 people are, I believe, struggling financially. Times are not the greatest thing. We shouldn't really be spending $100 on a digital client, especially when $100 online can go a lot further. I'll talk about that maybe in a little bit. So what's the solution to all this? Well, one very easy solution would be changing the gold pack thing. It would be a small thing, but why is it standard and alchemy packs only? That seems kind of silly. Make it all packs. If people are buying packs on your client, especially now that you have so many different sets, you have legacy. Can I just scroll through? There are just so many sets. Oh, don't get me started on Modern Horizons 3. Yeah, lots of cool cards in here, but why would you want to open it? Especially, there are a lot of cool cards, but there are a lot of landmines in this set as well. But there are so many packs on the format or on the client now that are not in standard or in alchemy, and therefore these packs are just sitting here rusting away. So they should be counting towards the golden pack. I'm sure other people have made the argument that these should be included in that bonus, because it's not even a big bonus. The client is so bloated with rares and mythics. What's the big deal if people are able to open gold packs a little bit faster? It's fine, let them do it. In addition, I think it would be really nice if some of these legacy packs, like Kaladesh Remastered here, why is it full price? Why does it cost 1,000 gold or 200 gems to buy a pack? These are outdated sets. Standard is obviously, or Wizards is obviously pushing Standard and Alchemy more than any other format. Make them half price. You know, it's an old, outdated set. Drop it down to 500 and 100 gems. Allow people to buy them and improve their collection for other formats. And in that case, maybe you don't need to put it as a bonus for the gold pack, but give something to the people. Man, it is expensive to play this game, and I really feel bad for people that are not able to throw a little bit of money into this game, because not a little bit of money, a lot of money into this game, because you are really shoehorned into playing just a limited handful of decks. Do you want everybody to be playing mono red, or is it prowess? Because that's what's going to happen. Everybody's going to use the 4 wild cards or 8 wild cards to craft their Corey Steelcutter, their slick shots show off, and then they're going to go to town because, well, they can get a monstrous rage and swift spears in that, and no problem. Accessibility needs to be improved in the game overall, and I think that is the biggest area that this game could improve, because a healthier meta that's encouraging more diversity and more creativity with the crafting side and the exploration of new cards is the way to keep the players happy. Whereas the way it is now, you just get power gamers, and power gamers, in my experience, are pretty discouraging to the overall health of a game. When everybody's a meta sheep, that it's just not fun. And that's how people move away from your game. So that was a lot longer of a rant than I had originally planned, but it is what it is. I'm also going to do something highly irresponsible at the end of this video. I'm going to spend $100 on this game. I'm going to go ahead and buy 20,000 gems because, like I said, being irresponsible. And I'm just kind of curious how many of the cards I can get from the gold packs and from targeted farming of the best packs that have the most overlap in all the cards that I need. I haven't exactly figured out what set I'm going to open, but it kind of looks like it's between the Brothers' War, Wilds of Eldraine, Murderers at Karlov Manor. Those seem to be the sets that have the most recurring missing cards for me. I don't want to open those packs, but that's probably what I'm going to do. I would love to open Pioneer Masters. I think there are some really cool cards that, because I want to play Pioneer, would come out of that set for me. But I just can't bring myself to open Pioneer Masters when I know I can't get the gold pack. I feel like the gold pack is good enough, even though it's very wide. It's good enough to focus on. So I'm going to go be irresponsible and cut to the next part of all of this video and probably speed through the opening of these packs and see what the results are. Hopefully I get some good hits. Please wish me luck. And in the comments, do all that good stuff. Hey, you've watched 20 minutes of this video already. Why haven't you hit the like button? It's like sitting right there below my big face. Hit the like button, subscribe. Please. I got a couple new subscribers since I came back. That's cool. Thank you. Nice to see all of you. And leave a comment. How do you spend money on Magic Arena? And what do you think about the economy? Do you put money into the game? Does it feel bad when you put money into the game? Do you feel like you get value out of the money that you put in the game? Let me know down in the comments. So let's jump over to the store and spend a little bit of money. All right, funds have now been deposited into the client. That was fun. And, well, it hurts. And looking over the list, Man, I've actually been staring at this list for about 5 minutes, and I don't see any good overlap in the packs that I should open. In fact, the Outlaws of Thunder Junction was the one area that I was initially leaning, because I'm like, whoa, fast lands, I gotta have fast lands. No, I have 4 of all those fast lands because they were in Kaladesh Remaster or whatever, and I got those a long time ago. I'm glad I kind of realized that while I was prattling on. So now, kind of looking at things, man, it sucks. Maybe it's because I have a pretty good collection. I should be thankful for that. But also, the cards are just spread out all over the place. So I think what I'm going to end up buying is 90 packs. And another little bit of an incentive thing is, of course, getting the extra card. I don't think it's worth spending everything in one area just to get another Mishra's Foundry. So I do think I'm going to buy 45 packs of the Brothers War, get a single Mishra's Foundry, whatever. It's a card that you never know. Maybe I'll play some artifact decks. But in the end, there are quite a few lands in the Brothers War. The Pain lands are in here, and those Pain lands, they're my jam. I like those. So we're going to go ahead and grab 45 of these packs. So there goes 50 American Dollarinos. And of course we get a few of those. We'll see how those end up working out, but we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. And then the other set that I think I ended up deciding I was going to open was it Duskmourn or Wilds of Eldraine? Now I'm forgetting. Oh my god. It's just, honestly, it feels bad. I don't know what I want to open because the cards that I need are just, it's a shot in the dark. You're not going to get any of these things. You can see the frustration, and man, everybody must feel this when they're opening packs here, because the system just kind of sucks. I don't really know how they could fix it, but yeah, I wish it were a little bit better. Maybe it's Wilds of Eldraine, wherever Wilds of Eldraine is. This one seems to be the other area that is not so bad. And wow, Expel the Interlopers, what a cool bonus. Whatever. So let's grab a few more of these. Boom, boom, boom. Great. And how's my gold pack situation looking? I still have 8 to go. Okay, well, those don't matter. So I think we picked up 90 packs, 9 gold packs, and time to rip these open and see if anything good comes out of them. I'm going to fast forward through all this, maybe stop when I do hit something. Let's go through this quickly. Ooh, hey. Hey, I'm happy. Oh my god. Oh no, don't have excitement opening packs. I'm supposed to feel bad right now. It's Lauren, the card that I was debating opening, and I completely forgot about her. I did not put her on my wish list because she's I didn't end up putting her into any of the decks. I was just thinking about her. But okay, grabbing a random Lauren of the Third Path, that's good. Corey Steelcutter better watch out. Lauren's coming for you. Okay, back to feeling bad. There is nothing in here. I guess this kind of catches my eye. I didn't know Mesmeric Orb was around. That's not legal in Pioneer, is it? All right, we got at least an underground river. My first underground river somehow. Okay, that's... right, so 45 packs of the Brothers War Down, and I got 2 cards that I was looking for out of all those packs, and I got, I believe, 8 rare wild cards, which and a few mythic wild cards too, but it's the rare wild cards that I'm mostly hunting after these days. It's always the one that I need. So 8 out of 45. Is that $50 well spent? That could have been an Elden Ring game. Huh. Wilds of Eldrinheim. Okay, so opening these packs, like I said, you do sometimes hit cool cards that are going to be useful in other places. Land Tax, Smothering Tide. These are 2 great cards for Brawl that I didn't have, I guess, and I swear I had Smothering Tide somewhere, but if they're saying first, it could be a pretty good thing. And then in these packs, 1 Question Druid, also up to 9 wild cards in total. Keep going. All right, and at the end, the last 5 packs, another rare land that I don't really want, but hey, it's nice to have in the collection. So after 90 packs, the equivalent of 100 American dollarinos, I opened 3 cards that I would actually want to put into decks today. Yeah, I did get, 15 rare wild cards to use, but yeah, that excitement from opening the Lauren has completely dissipated, and I think, man, oh man, I don't want to be there. I don't want to be here anymore. All right, we still got the 9 golden packs, and I'm just going to crack them all, and let's see if there's anything that excites me from these 9 packs. Was it really worth it to buy packs that I didn't really want to buy simply because it was going to give me the golden packs and the rare wild cards? Okay, there's one. Did get 1 hit with the Mockingbird. This was a card that I was looking at crafting. Of course, everybody has different perspectives. Maybe somebody out here really wanted to open a Felithar. Maybe. I didn't. But the Mockingbird was a card that I did have my eyes on, and that gives me a full play set, and I'm pretty excited about that. So, hey, you do get these random hits, but yeah, it's all about what each individual person wants. I can't imagine too many people are out there looking for an Ambling Storm Shell, though. Hey, I got my first abhorrent Oculus. That's... wow, that was a long run of cards that I do not care about until I hit an Oculus. Okay, I did get a lot of firsts though, and firsts are good cards to get because firsts mean maybe they're going to be useful in Brawl, like I mentioned before, but in the end, it's really... I don't know how I feel. Is it worth it to open the gold packs? I don't know. This is a lot of trash. I'm not going to use 99% of these cards. Heck, I'm not even going to use 99% of the cards that I opened from those 90 packs. So you're just opening packs to get this rare wildcard ticker reward up, and that's it. So something needs to be fixed. I think the game feels very disappointing, very feels bad to put money into it in the end, and I don't like that. The game, since coming back, has felt really good. I've actually really enjoyed playing the game. I've looked forward to brewing in the game, and just overall, I'm enjoying my time playing Magic again. That's great. The game is still good. It's still frustrating at times, but any good game probably is a little bit frustrating along with all those highs. But then eventually you get down to it's time to craft or try to figure out the economy, and then that hurts. It doesn't make sense for most people to put money into the game unless you're addicted. Cool. Let me know what you guys think about the state of the game, the state of the economy, and what do you think should be done with all of this. That's it. This video probably turned out to be way too long, and if you stuck around to the end, thank you so much. I'm at the point in making videos that I think I just want to make videos for the sake of making videos, to start getting my channel noticed by the algorithm again. I don't know what happens when you have a dead channel and then you try to revive it. Does YouTube start pushing the videos out? Does it matter if they're good quality or not? I'm just gonna try to make something and have a good flow out of videos. So sorry that this one's not the most exciting one, but I think it's always good to talk about the economy, and I hope you guys mention some stuff down in the comments about the state of play and the state of the economy and how you feel about it. That's it. I'm done. Take care. Have a good day. Bye-bye.